So I'm going to dive in, and I want to talk to you guys about articulation and specifically jazz articulation. So obviously, I assume you have downloaded the book. If you haven't, look in the description of this video. There's a link for you to download the book with all the articulations explained, and why it's important to have an understanding and appreciation of the articulation. Well, to start with, um, every style, different style of music has a different way of articulating, right? The notes are the same, the chords are the same. What's going to be different is the articulation and the rhythmic feel, which are two things very close together. They're very related. One doesn't really go without the other. Um, Articulation is also going to impact many things, such as the fluidity of your playing. So the dexterity. If you want to play fast, if you need to have a clear, clean articulation. It's going to impact how free you feel. Like your liberty of playing, your freedom of playing. If you're not comfortable with articulation, you're going to feel restrained, limited. If you practice anything like licks, scales, if you are like a pattern student or lick, you like to work on licks, I hope you don't skip the articulation part, because that's 90% of what makes a lick sound good. It's going to impact your sight reading. It's important for sight reading, your interpretation of the melody of a song. It's going to impact your time feel. What else? It's going to impact the feeling of the music. All right, we're going to see that, like, depending on how you articulate, you're going to change the feeling of the music. If you have no articulation, like, it's like the it's like the line. You want emotion, you want movement, and that's very important, such as dynamics. So all of those things are really related to articulation. Okay, so there's a lot of information in the book. We're going to talk a lot about many things today, but don't forget that all of this comes from the recording. So just listen to the recordings, go to concerts, listen how they articulate, pay attention to that. And when you're working on a song or on a solo, really pay attention to the articulation, how the soloist is articulating. And one last thing, of course, if you're playing in a sax section or trumpet section, basically if you're playing in a big band, it's even more important to have a common knowledge of your articulation, and you really want sometimes to make sure the whole section use the same articulation. That's the difference again between a band that sounds really tight and swinging and a band that sounds like kind of okay, but if they don't articulate perfectly together, then it's not tight. So obviously, when you play in a big band, that's even more important. But even if you're just playing, with if you're a sax player and a trumpet player, or you play with a guitar player, whatever, as long as you're two instruments playing the melody together, you must agree on the articulation. Okay, so that's extremely important. All right, so to start with, I explained that in the little video presentation, but it's extremely important to understand. So for those of you who might not have watched the video, I want to explain that again. Swing eighth notes, we have this underlying feel of eighth note triplets. All right, so when we play that, inside my body, literally, you must feel triplets. All right. Again, listen to the drummers. I see there's some kind of a reflection here. If you listen to the drummers, they play all the time with this. Okay. Listen to the snare drums. They play a lot of eighth note triplets, and when they play the ride like this, do do da do da do da. All right, it always go with these triplets. Why? Because briefly, jazz is really the marriage, the blending of two cultures, the African culture and the European culture. And so certain elements from the African music took over, and certain element of the European music took over. And I'm going to simplify because this is not a history course, but basically jazz took the rhythmic innovation of African music and the European, the melody from European music. You know, if you go back in the 1600s, African musicians would be amazed at the melody of European composers, and vice versa. The European composers would be amazed by the rhythmic qualities of the African music. Especially, you have to fast forward to the 20th century, really, or late 20th century, early 21st, for classical composer to really appreciate African rhythms, such as Darius Milhaud, French composer, Claude Debussy, Ravel. They really started to appreciate the rhythmic complexity of African music. And African music is, again, I'm simplifying, but it's largely based on 6/8 or 12/8 fills. So basically, the pulse, dividing the pulse in three, and we would count 1 and a, 2 and a, 3 and a, 4 and a. So basically, this really equals some kind of rhythm like this. And again, it's not exactly that, but it's very close to that. And so basically, how we articulate that, that means that this note is longer than this one, right? So the basic articulation is do da. And if you just say that, naturally, you're going to start swinging. I mean, seriously, it's kind of that simple. Do da, 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 do da. All right? This syllable is longer than this one, and that's how you start swinging. 1, 2, 3, 4, do da, do da, do da, do da. All right? Just make sure you download the book. Everything is in the book. So if you want to follow with the book, that would be a good idea to look at it now. Okay, so if you, again, on the book, I write the scale. If you don't want to say do, da, do, da, do, da, do, da, do. So we're going to, when we have a stream of 8 notes like this, we would say do, da, oo, da. Do, da, oo, 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do, da, oo, da, oo, da, oo, da, oo, da. Do, da, oo, da. Do, da, oo, da. Do, da, oo, da. Okay, so if you just say that, you're already starting swinging. Okay, and so this, obviously, this is when you slur those two notes. So if you're a wind player, trumpet, saxophone, trombone, that means that you tongue this note, all right? And if you keep on like this, you tongue the upbeat notes. All right, so that's the basic knowledge, the basic articulation. And we'll see, I mean, I explained in the short videos that you can have different way of articulating this one single note. So that changes, and that changes a lot the feel of the music, right? So that's why it's important to really understand and know the common articulation of this music. So let's quickly go over the book, and after the presentation, hopefully I will have some time to take a few questions. If you have any, feel free to ask your questions in the comment section on the video. Okay, so do, da, da, this is our basic articulation. And if you want to accent a note, make it short and accent, whether it's downbeat or upbeat, we're going to say dat. All right, D-A-H-T, dat. And in the example, I use confirmation, so I'm also going to talk about. Okay, so that would be this, and one way to write it is to put this accent like this, like a V. Of course, if you write it over the note, it's like that. Okay. Another articulation is when you have a bend, a slight bend to attack the note. We're saying dwee, D-W-E-E. That dwee, okay. And so the example I'm using is on confirmation. All right, in confirmation, just make sure you can see. Confirmation goes like this. Okay, and one way to articulate that's not written in stone, that's something that you would probably hear, but you can articulate it different. It's like this, da dwee dat. Okay, so little slide bend, da dwee dat, and an accent here, da dwee dat. Okay, if I play it with the saxophone, hopefully the sound doesn't get distorted. All right, you don't have to play this bend. You can just articulate da-oo-da, da-oo-da. All right, but if you want to bend, da-dwee-da. Okay. So again, this is to accent in short, and it doesn't have to be a beat. Okay, it can be on the downbeat. If you have, maybe like a rhythm like this, then that. Oops, sorry, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Da da dat, da da dat. Okay, so here on the fourth beat, it's on the downbeat, and I'm accenting and making this quarter note short. Da da dat, da da dat, da da dat. Okay, short and accented, upbeat or downbeat, that. It's this accent. All right, if you want to accent a note and that is long, and also either downbeat or upbeat, we're going to say day. All right, day. And the example I use is Dewey Square, and so that's do da day do that, do da day do that. Okay, let me write it real quick. Do da. Okay, and here I accent it, it's long, and here I accent in short, an accent in short. Do da day do that, do da day do that. All right. Okay. Now, if you want to articulate a note and make it short, but no accent, all right. So because this one is short but with an accent, then we would say did. Okay, I mean, you understand that those syllables basically really say it all, right? Did. It's short and it's no accent. And the example I use in the book is Yardbird Street. They do, did, do, they. All right, the first note is accented. They do, did, do, da, da, they. And I accent this one too. And if you want to have a little bend or fall at the end of the note, we say down. All right, and that would be something like that. Okay, it's the opposite of dui when the bend is before the note. You attack the note bending below, or you attack the note right there and you fall. That's down. And again, if you look at the book, the example I use is Yardbird Street, and so it goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. They do, did, do, da, da, they do, dow. All right, and that, my friends, is a correctly articulated jazz phrase. Let me do that again for you. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. They do, did, do, da, da, they do, dow. Okay, the accents are extremely important. They do, did, do, da, da, they. When you hear someone that, you know, if he has good ideas, but his playing is not tight, it's not clear, that's 90% of the time it's because his articulation sucks. All right, and that's why it's really important. They do, did, do, da, da, they do, da. And again, I'm feeling this triplets, this eighth note triplet inside. They do, did, do, da, da, they do, da. Okay. So, just making sure everything works properly. We have some people watching. Gerard, say bonjour, salut. All right, let's keep on. Okay, this one is important. This one is mostly you're gonna encounter that in bebop, and it's the articulation dulia, dulia, and it's written like this, dulia, and that's basically when you're embellishing some notes, so 2 eighth notes. So, for instance, the example I use in the book is a phrase from Confirmation, you know, do-dee-dee-dee-dee. All right. Often we're just going to, either you're not going to have anything written, or you're going to have this kind of wave written over the melody. And that means simply this embellishment. All right, and so the way we articulate that, it's do-da, 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 do-da. Okay, do-da, do, da, do, ya, do. Okay, the other articulation I use in this example is ghost notes, and we're going to say it's written, we write it DN, but we really say you know, it's like you know, it's like in a syllable, but it doesn't really, you're not clear about that. And for instance, do that, do that. And here I play this one accented, right? Do that, do that, do that, do that, do that, do that. And so usually if you really want to specify a note to be ghosted, you can write a plus, or you can write the note as a plus actually. So maybe, you know, you could write this or an X. That's, you know, two different. I like this way because that also sometimes we use that for harmonics, at least for saxophone in the saxophone literature. This could also mean to play the F with a B flat fingering. All right, so this is not the class about that, but I want to just tell you that you can encounter both way to write it. I favor this way of writing, and that's ghost. That's a ghost note. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do da do that. Okay, do that, do that. You see, I kind of swallow that note. I swallow that syllable. And when I play it, it's easy actually to miss it. And for the wind players, at least for the saxophones, you know, I usually close half of the reed. Okay, so again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because this is not a saxophone class, but I know there's a lot of saxophonists here. All right, okay, so we saw the dulia, the ghost notes. Okay, next it's F note triplets. F note triplets. This one can be tricky. Okay, this one we say doodle da, doodle da, doodle da. The example I used in the book is on confirmation. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Da dwee da 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 da. Okay, da dwee da 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 da. Of course, because here I have this rhythm. So I'm saying do da who do da. Da dwee da 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 do da da. Again, 1, 2, 3. Da dwee da 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 do da da. Okay, if I play with saxophone. Let me know if the sound gets distorted with the saxophone. I hope not. I'm trying to play actually very piano because I know the sound can be distorted very easily when I play the saxophone. All right, so you see how now we have a 2-bar phrase, and if you're not clear on the articulation, a 2-bar phrase can very quickly become hell. Okay, if you articulate it correctly, it can be beautiful. That's really what makes a phrase alive and beautiful, or dead and horrible. Okay, so I cannot emphasize too much how articulation is important, because if you just play even without the embellishment, or okay, all this is terrible. All right, it doesn't sound good. Okay, now we're having some, some music created. Okay, and it's all with articulation. Okay. All right, next, what do we have? Okay, next it's more about the different articulation due to the rhythmic placement. For instance, quarter notes and eighth notes followed by a rest are usually played short. And the key word here is usually. It's music is not, it's not just rules. And rules are made to be broken and bended. Once you know them, once you master the rules, you are free to destroy them. But if you try to destroy them before mastering them, you're going into the wall. So there will be instances where you will have to play a quarter note or eighth note followed by a rest long. But in general, it's short. And one example I took is confirmation, and it goes like this: 1, 2, 3. They did. Okay, this note is short. They did. They would do did. Okay, they did. They would do did. Okay, so this note is short. Another example is now's the time. 1, 2, 3. Da did. Da did. Okay, this quarter note is followed by a rest. It's played short. And a rhythm I wrote, that goes like this. Okay, I'm gonna write it real quick. If you don't have the book, but you should download it, it's free. I have the link in the description of the video. So really download it. Okay, so you see, if you don't have any articulation, you would just say do, da, do, da, da. All right? It's basically, I take the do, da. When it's on the beat, it's do. When it's a bit, it's da. Do, da, do, da, da. All right? So there's no accent here. Now, if I put accent, if I give life to this melody, even if it's just rhythmic, and this is an example, you can do different things. I play them short, this one short and accented, short and a little fall. So now this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, did, da, did, da, did, down. Okay, again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, did, da, did, da, did, down. So hopefully you can hear how just rhythmically it becomes more interesting. So when you play with your instrument, it's becoming much more interesting. All right, so let's move on, because I see the time is going, and I really want to go through the entire book if possible and take some questions if you guys have some questions. Okay, usually quarter notes on downbeats 1 and 3 are played long. Quarter notes on downbeat 2 and 4 are usually played short. Again, you can decide to articulate the complete opposite, and that's why in the book, the last bar, I purposely write the quarter note on the third beat short. All right, but 1, 2, 3, 4. Do dit, do dit, dit, do dit, 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 do dit, dit. All right. Also because it's the end of the phrase, so you can play it short. But usually on 1 and 3 it's long, on 2 and 4 it's short. Do dit, do dit, dit, do dit, 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 do dit, do dit, dit, do dit, do dit. All right. Okay, if you know, like, listen to bands like Count Basie, Fletcher Henderson, you know, Duke Ellington, because these were big bands, orchestras, so they had to be super tight with the articulation. So I really encourage you to listen to this type of band, so you really listen to the articulation. Okay, 2/8 notes followed by a rest are usually played long short. So, you know, if we have this, you know, like repeated, we, you know, you can articulate do that, do that, do that. But usually, you know, it's common knowledge to play it like this: do dit, do dit, do dit, do dit. All right, that could be like a background figure in a big band. Do dit, do dit, do dit, do dit. Another example is ornithology. Dow 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 dit, dow 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 dit. All right, the last eighth note is short. Okay, a quarter note played on the upbeat between 2/8 notes or rest is commonly played short. Again, on ornithology, dow 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 dit dap, dow 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 dit dap. Okay, if I played with the saxophone. Okay, this note, it's a quarter note, a bit between 2/8 notes. Most of the time you're going to play that quarter note short. So basically like an eighth note. Again, also in confirmation. Okay, we have two examples here. Okay, da dee da, da dee da da. So it's a quarter note a bit, but it's played short. The dee da 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 do da da da, and then okay, this quarter note a bit, it's played short. Now, if you have a quarter note that is written as 2/8 note slurred, all right, so that still makes a quarter note a bit. But if it's written this way, usually it means that the composer wanted really like full value. And a good example is Stolen Moments. All right, so do dow dow day dow day dow day dow day, and it's accented here. So that's because it's a song, but you don't have, you know, you don't have to always accent it if you have this rhythm. Do dow dow da dow da dow da dow da. But the song Stolen Moments, you want to accent that. Do dow dow day dow day dow day dow day. All right. Upbeat long notes after a rest are usually accented. Okay, again, Yardbird Street. 1, 2, 3, 4. Day da did do do da da. Day da did. Okay, is the first note, it's accented. 1, 2, 3, 4. They do that. Okay. Confirmation is also a good example, or D-Way square. 1, 2, 3, 4. They did that. They did that. All right. Now, when you have a series of quarter notes a bit, usually it's full value, so it's long. And a good example of that is the song Duke. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, 1, 2, 3. All right, all those are quarter notes a bit, and it's full value. Why? Because there's 3 or more of those quarter notes a bit. And of course, you can accent those notes or not. Okay, we're approaching the end of the book, which is good. And this one it's important. I'm not going to write the whole phrase because it's long phrases, but it's in the book, so download the book. When you have a line of 8th notes or 16th notes, accent the highest note of a wide lip that changes direction. All right, so that kind of sounds like a weird and difficult rule to remember, and it is. And so you shouldn't try to play like this. Oh, I'm playing the highest note of an interval and then change direction. No, we never think like this. However, after studying for years and transcribing and observing, I've noticed that if you look at the transcriptions of whoever, Charlie Parker, Cannonball, Bud Powell, Charlie Christians, I mean, any instrument, J.J. Johnson, whoever, you name it, they articulate like this. When you have a note that is high and changing direction, it's accented. So, for instance, Yardbird Suite. 1, 2, 3. All right, so let me do that again and slow down. Okay, da 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 day. Okay, day da day. You see, da 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 day. We go from this A to E. So, and the melody is descending, right? Da 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 da. It's descending, and now we're breaking this direction. We're going day, da 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 day, and so this note is accented. Da da. This one, da da. Okay, we're going up, da da, and we're going down, da da, da 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 da. Here, every note that breaks the direction of the melody is accented. Okay, it's not a rule that I invented, or it's not a rule that anybody invented, and that's how you have to articulate in jazz. But just happens that that's how we do it. All right, and there's no other reason to look for than that. Listen to Charlie Parker, and that's how he articulates. So if I play that to the tempo, 1, 2, All right. Another good example is this phrase on Au Privé. 1, 2, 3. Okay, again. You see how this note is the highest, and then we're going up, and I'm breaking the direction. Then I go down. This one, I go up, go down. So the C sharp is accented. Same thing on the B. This one, the B is accented. You see? If the direction is broken, changing, you accent that note. And again, if I play it at the tempo, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Okay, and you can hear now the phrase. It's it's tight, it's in rhythm, it's articulated, it's living, and it's nice. So now, how do you reach that level of being able to articulate? Again, you have to listen. Listen, play with the recording, transcribe, play slowly, because of course, I didn't get that phrase like this in in a half a second. I mean, granted that I used to work on Charlie Parker's transcriptions when I was like 12 or 13, something like that. So, but I would, I remember I played those type of phrases in 16th notes. I played them super slowly. All right, play them in 8th notes and make sure you get the articulation. And then slowly, gradually speed up so that you train your ears, your fingers to play and articulate. All right. Okay. Usually quarter note triplets are played full value, so long, unless it's specified. So for instance, the Girl of Ipanema. All right. Yeah, that's with a B flat, not a B natural I just played before. All right, 2 16th notes or 2 8th notes are at a fast tempo, followed by the rest are usually articulated did it. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, did it, do da, did it, do da. All right, that's the example from the book. All right, this is, for instance, a good example of common knowledge. If you're with experienced musicians and you just have that melody written, everybody is going to articulate like this: did it, do down, did it, do down. All right. Another example is grooving high. Did it, did it, do 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 da did it. Okay. Okay, when we have this figure dotted 8th note and 16th, that happens sometimes, when you have this, and it's really specified dotted 8th note and 16th, that's usually usually that means, actually it's counterintuitive because it's really written long short, right? But that means we accent this one and we play it short. Okay, so watch out, this one is tricky because it's actually written dotted 8th note, so long rhythm and short, but it's not, it's actually that. Okay, so we say that. All right, and for instance, in the book, the example is like this: 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do da da do da da do did. Da da do da do did. Okay, you hear 1, 2, 3, 4. Do da da do did. Okay, da do did. Da do did. And that's when you have this figure dotted and dotted F note 16. It's important because it's kind of counterintuitive, right? In the opposite, sometimes we have this rhythm, 16th, a 16th note and a dotted 8th note. And here it's long, short, long, short. And it's articulated D-da. One, and again, the example from the book, 1, 2, 3, 4. They do the dida, do the dida, do did. Dida, okay? Sorry, I forgot to write that. 1, 2, 3, 4. They do the dida, do the dida, do did. Dida, do da, do did. Did they do the dida, do the dida, do did. Dida, do da, do did. Okay? So I think I said something wrong. It's short, long. Okay, dida, short, long. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do the dida, do the dida, do did. Dida, do da, do did. All right. Okay, my friends. So this covers basically the book. So study the book, and when you're playing a song, try to pay attention how you should articulate the melody. If you have some doubt, look in the book if you find the answer. And again, you can go against the rules. Ultimately, I want you to make your own decisions, but you want to make your own decisions when you are when you make an educated decision. All right. Listen to albums. That's really the best thing you can do. Play with the albums, make some transcription, play along with the albums, pay attention to the articulation, practice slowly, and that will get you much further. Okay, if you have a good, clear, and clean articulation, jazz articulation, because again, as I said in the beginning, if you play funk music, you're not going to articulate like this. It's different articulation. If you play reggae, it's a different articulation. If you play, classical music from the 18th century, it's a different articulation from the 17th century, or it's a different articulation from the music from the Romantic era of the 19th century, which is again a different articulation from the 20th century, etc. Okay, so each style has its own articulation, and that's really important because again, the notes are the same, the chords are basically the same. A C major is exactly the same in jazz, in reggae, or for Mozart. All right, C major is C major anywhere on earth in any music. What is going to be different is how you articulate that C major, how you play that C major. All right, so that's really important. Okay, guys, so thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know, and I will see you soon anyway.